until New Year. We're gonna focus on the kind of preparing this everything, and I need to go to England to talk to some players, etc.
Greetings sports fans, welcome back to Eddie Vision TV, the channel where we look at sports differently. I'm your host Eddie Guna. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, please subscribe. Okay, big games coming up in 2024. We have the semifinals of the Nations League versus the USA, in Texas to be exact. We have the Copa America, but before that we have 2 World Cup qualifiers. For the Copa, we've been drawn in Group B. We will face off against CONCACAF giants Mexico and a few South American teams in Ecuador and Venezuela. Now, going into these games, we need to strengthen, especially for the Copa. We need to strengthen the team. And as you heard in the intro, Coach Hallgrimsson will be on his way to the UK to talk to players. Talk to players? What can that mean? Is he going there to talk to the current players? Or will he be looking to bring in some new recruits? And I think the entire Jamaica and the diaspora want it to be the latter. We want to see some new faces. Come on, Hallgrimsson. Bring them home. Bring them home, please. But very important, before I get into the names, the approach must be right from Hallgrimsson. We've seen in the past, there's an interview with Troy Deeney, former Watford striker, when he was approached by Schaefer. Approach wasn't right, you understand? And some of these players, you need to approach them in a certain way. You cannot just come up to them and say, you have Jamaican heritage, come on, the approach, Deeney wasn't pleased with Schaefer's approach. Schaefer was like, you're disappointing your country. Come and play for Jamaica. You have to know how to deal with it, because some of these players on the fence, and they grew up, with a more English vibes, you know what I mean? So they're going to need some convincing, and you have to be smart about it. So I hope that Coach Hallgrimsson has a plan, has a game plan, where they want to work with other players, get other players help to talk to the players, whatever, but bring them home. So we've been hearing a lot of names popping up. So it is like a what's the deal, in a sense. Big up Simon Preston and Reggae Boy commentary. So what's the deal with these players? The same names keep popping up. The Isaac Haydens, the Reese Nelsons, the Macy Greenwoods, etc. We don't know exactly who Coach Hallgrimsson will be speaking to. But some of us are smart enough, we can fill in the blanks, and I believe one Macy Greenwood would be heading that list. I know Mason Greenwood is not in the UK, but it's a quick flight to just hop over back to the UK and talk to the gaffer. Publicly, Hallgrimsson came out and said, he don't mind taking on the baggage. Macy Greenwood's baggage. So we know the situation. Southgate has spoken diplomatically on a very complex case. But the suggestion is that Greenwood will not be picked by England for at least as long as he is the manager. So once Southgate is the manager, no England call up. So that is good for us. So Southgate in. And we know that Jamaica have no qualms over selecting the Getafe forward, with manager Hallgrimsson offering to carry Greenwood's baggage. As I said before, Hallgrimsson wants the best talent. So you just know to expedite the documentation from Mason Greenwood. He's a known target, and the good thing is that he's out of the England picture right now. But a lot of work needs to be done on that. And the next baller, we need a midfielder. This man, Morgan Gibbs-White. I did a video on him recently, and he definitely will need a lot of convincing. One of many players Jamaica have recently hoped to tempt over is Morgan Gibbs-White, but he has resisted the call. In the eyes of Southgate, he is progressing well with Nottingham Forest and as a U21 captain. So that's how Southgate sees him. Morgan Gibbs-White wants more, and he wants to play for England. So he did not rule out Jamaica totally, but it will be difficult to really sway Morgan Gibbs-White at this time. Whereas he's the captain of the U21, so I think it's a no-go for Gibbs-White at this moment. Another player that has rejected Jamaica numerous times, Max Aarons. Now at Bournemouth, the right back. So approaches from Jamaica have been rejected by Aarons, who's 27 England youth caps and over 80 Premier League appearances. There were also interest from big clubs for Max Aarons. So it's not a rux. So Bayern Munich wanted him and Barcelona. So we know the caliber of player we could be getting in Max Aarons, but he doesn't want to represent Jamaica at this time. He would need a lot of convincing. Now another player, the English media talking, they liked how he was playing before his long-term injury, and that's Rico Henry. So a quote here: it would be silly to lose an excellent left back to Jamaica, even with his season-ending knee injury. So persons over there in England don't want to lose Rico Henry. So they're fretting on Rico Henry right now. So I don't know the status, but they're fretting. Good news for Jamaica, and I hope that he's one of the players that coach will be talking to. Another player, Dwight McNeil, Everton. Alright, a quote here from the coach, Sean Dyche. When I see some of the other young players who are getting called up and are in and around the squad, then he can't be far away, in my opinion. But I'm bound to say that I see him every day, said the Everton manager. And the article also went on to say Jamaica might spring into action soon. So we're hoping that we can spring into action soon. Coach Hallgrimsson, be on the lookout. Dwight McNeil. And another popular target, Reece Nelson. I don't know the status of this one, but we all going by the video he did for Arsenal TV, where he was saying that, look, I see myself as a Jamaican. I have Zimbabwean roots, but also Jamaican roots, and see myself as Jamaican. So I think that's a good enough reason for us to go out and have a talk with Mr. Reese Nelson. Bring him home. Coach Grimmy, bring him home. Now there's another right back, full of right back. Not a lot of action. I know there's Hayden, but the midfielders quite rough. But Jed Spence, he's at Leeds United, right back, on loan from Spurs. And this is a quote from the Capo, Wes Morgan. He's like a Rolls Royce. Wes Morgan once said of the right back. Perhaps Spence will be overlooked by England in the same way the Jamaica international centre half was. So, Wes Morgan is a big fan of Jed Spence, and that's a link we could use up. Try get in touch with Big Wes. You know what I mean? See if we can make a link. But players are out there. We just have to put in the work, JFF and the coaching staff. Put in the work, identify who you want, and go after these players. We don't have a lot of time. We know the process can be a long process in terms of getting documentations and passport ready. But players are out there. Again, we might have to look a little bit deeper and push harder in terms of getting a midfielder. But we can try. Alright, Reggae Boy fans and Jamaicans, gave you a few names. There are more, obviously, but who out of this list would you like to see suit up for the Reggae Boys in the Adidas jersey? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think it's feasible? Is it possible for us to get these players? Do you believe in Coach Hallgrimsson that he can pull it off? We already got Demarai Gray. Let's see who else who can pull out the bag. Come on, ballers. Come outside. Come on. I'm Eddie Guna. Thanks for watching. Always remember, like, share and subscribe.
You're watching Eddie Vision TV. Like, share and subscribe.